Welcome back to the Learning Conference series. If you have been following along, we have explored the significance of learning conferences in 2025 in our episode 1. Then we designed the perfect blueprint and then created a pre-event bus. Today, we are diving into the heart of it all, which is hosting the event on the day of the event like a pro. And I can definitely say this is going to be a game changer for you because no matter how strong your content is, if the delivery falls flat, people are going to tune out. Not because they don't care, but because virtual and hybrid formats demand a different kind of hosting energy. And today we are getting real about how to run the room, whether it's a digital room or a hybrid space, in a way that drives real time participation, connection amongst the employees who are attending the event, and then retaining them till the end of the event. Now, whether you're hosting it virtually, in person, or have a blend of both, your energy in the event sets the tone. And with me again is our conference expert, Ashwini. Ashwini has been with us throughout this series, helping decode what makes learning conferences tick in 2025. So great to have you back, Ashwini.
Great to be here, Prachi. Thank you so much for setting up this episode. And like you said, out of everything, eventually this is the moment we are leading up to, right? So whether you are designing a conference, whether you are thinking of a great pre-conference experience, finally it all comes down to how everything works on the day of the event, how good the experience is, right? So I've seen there are teams who are not so experienced in running their learning conferences. They'll put 90% of their energies into the content, into getting the right speakers, into getting the right videos created. But what they miss out on is the experience, is the engagement, is how do we do the live engagement of the attendees who are attending this conference? Because no matter what we say, we all know that COVID taught us something, that being in front of camera or in front of your computer all day is not a great recipe, right? So even if it's a conference, you have to make it engaging. You have to make it engaging so that people are not getting distracted, so that your attendees are not losing interest, so that they are not dropping off the sessions in between, or they are shifting and checking their emails, or they're shifting and doing something else on their laptop while they're listening to the content. So that's why I believe it's not a content problem. It's the passivity problem. It's the engagement problem. Of course, there are a few ideas that we will discuss in this episode covering how you can overcome them. It could be through interactions is one great measure to do this. And there are studies which show that 82% of attendees prefer to attend events with colleagues, with shared experiences, and not really just alone sitting and watching only just one streamer input coming to them. Similarly, people just don't learn by watching something. They have to be engaged. They have to be doing things. They have to be interacting with the content, with the participants, with the speakers, with the host. So we will delve a lot more deeper into all of this today. But yeah, looking forward to the episode, Prachi. Thank you.
Definitely, Ashwini. I think let's just start with the basics. A lot of leaders assume if the speakers are prepped and the slides are clean, like you just mentioned about the content, that's enough. But it rarely is, because we are talking about the engagement during the event. So, what are your thoughts around this?
So I believe, Prachi, that when you are setting up an experience like a learning conference where there are very well defined outcomes, whether it's company alignment, whether it's learning and growth for the employees, whether it's a new technology sessions which are happening, you have to now give the stage while you've built all this content. But the hero of this conference, the main champion of this conference has to be the participants. Make them your stage, give them the spotlight, right? And keep interaction as the core field. While there is content, while there are key speakers, while there are keynotes, while there will be a leadership session, but keep your attendees as the main focus and they're in the spotlight. Give them the tools to interact, right? So a great in live practice that we've seen is, and which platforms such as Airmeet do really, is we just don't focus on content delivery, but also on engagement, on participation, on interactions as well. Just to give you a few examples, right? You can have Q&As set up. You can have people participating, upvoting Q&A, and the best, highest voted Q&A gets a reward. Or you can have live poll set up, and you can have a timer around the poll that, okay, this poll is available only for the next 1 minute. So people jump into it, make them do something, bring them into the content, and not just make it like passive videos or passive one-way communication happening. Of course, Airmeet has cool things like emoji reactions, where you can give emoji reactions and people can participate in. You can have live quizzes or trivias going on at the same time when there are sessions going on. So let them take a break of 5 minutes from the session and run and participate in a fun trivia. So these are things that you can do to make the participants worthy of attending the event, right? Where they're continuously getting excited, interacting, they're continuously doing something to participate in the conference. I think that's what it is. And it's not just about, now, this is one aspect, right? This is just about the tool. But even your content, I would say, make it more engaging, make it what we call as micro engagements. Bring your attendees in, call their names out, bring them on the stage, do a CTA click, share something interesting and make people click through that. Run a poll, run a pulse check immediately, right? So things like these, like you see it in a live event, right? When a speaker comes on the stage, he first tries to get the crowd going with them. It happens in so many music festivals as well. And we've seen great conferences, great conference hosts doing that as well, where they first rile up the attendees, they first get them excited about what's coming, bring them up, bring them, tell them to start with clapping or start with sharing your love for the speaker who's on the stage. These are the things which get people interested and they feel that they are part of the event and not just looking at a YouTube video.
I just love that's such an important shift to keeping employees in focus, their engagement and the interaction. And I can even imagine for leaders running the large internal conferences. It's in today's time, this isn't just about making things entertaining, it's about making them memorable and sticky. And like you rightly said, that it's like you're turning a one-way stream into a two-way street where more the touch points you create, the more present people would be there in the event. And
Exactly.
also,
Yes.
when one of the things that you also mentioned was calling out. So, when someone calls your name, you automatically lean in the event. And when you know that you might be a part of what's next, you don't zone out of the event. So, that definitely I agree, whatever you said, Ashwini.
Exactly, Prachi. Just to double click on that point, everything, all of this ties into a deep-seated human aspect, right? That we all want
Yes.
recognition, we all want visibility, we all want our efforts to be seen or we to be recognized on a bigger platform. So learning conference also gives you that opportunity, right? Where you bring in your attendees, bring in your employees, give them recognition as well. You can give them shout outs. Maybe someone has asked a great question, someone had done great things in this year, in the past 6 months. Highlight great comments on the screen, highlight questions on screen, celebrate quiz winners, celebrate leadership board winners, celebrate the poll responders. So idea is to just bring them in and make it like a celebration, because again, your spotlight is not the content, your spotlight is the people in the event. Yep.
Definitely. And recognitions, giving small shout outs by name, these are very small acts, but can really fuel the participation within the event. And I think it will definitely drive repeated engagement. People return to spaces where they feel that they are being seen, heard, and valued for sure when you're taking out their names. Great one. And again, moving forward, talking about micro moments. This is one of the most talked topic today. So could you please elaborate on how they apply to virtual events?
Absolutely, Prachi. So micro moments, what we mean by micro moments are these are brief interactive segments. Okay, because we know that a typical attention span of an adult, especially on a virtual environment, is not more than 30 minutes. They will get distracted, they will start looking at their phone, their email, or something else. That's when this concept of micro moments was designed, where you bring in the participant and you keep nudging them every 5 to 10 minutes. Every typical duration we've seen is about 7 to 8 minutes. You keep nudging the attendees with something interesting, either a poll, either a breakout, either a question you can ask the audience. But idea is to break the monotony every 7 or 8 minutes. That's the idea of micro moments, and bring them in. The speaker can ask a question, generate a poll, or showcase something interesting which was happening. Change the monotony of the session. Because in virtual, it's very easy for people to get distracted. Even if the content is amazing, people always tend to, then maybe they start doing multiple things. Maybe they're doing two things at the same time. We've seen that happen a lot. So that's how the concept of micro moments came in.
This strategy definitely seems to be very effective. But are there any case studies or examples from your personal experience you can highlight and share with our audience, which
Oh yeah,
highlights the success of this strategy?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We've seen this happening at Cognizant's learning conference. So they ran an APAC-wide learning conference this late last year, I think November end. And this conference was very interestingly crafted, and the organizers understood the concept of micro engagements. So what they did was they opened up the event before the real conference was to start, and they let attendees jump in and ask questions. They could post anonymous questions, they could post questions as themselves. And what interesting was everyone could jump in when the event started. They could start upvoting the best questions. And then every 7 8 minutes during a session when the leadership was going on, they would bring in one of these top voted questions. So we were so excited. So everyone was so excited to look at it because it just breaks the monotony of someone speaking, someone explaining something, but at the same time, it shifts the focus, brings attendees back in, and they realize, oh yeah, there are questions that they can ask. There are questions that they can upvote. Similarly, we've seen another similar example where they had polls. They have polls scheduled every 10 minutes. And as the session is going on, they bring the poll up on the stage. Everyone is requested to participate. That gives a great indication as well who are really live present in this event, in this session, and answering and checking out polls. So that is another way that we've seen great engagement play out. So yeah, Prachi, there are umpteen number of examples and various things we've seen clients do and follow to bring in these micro engagements, micro moments of interactions with their attendees.
Great example, Ashwini, and amazingly done. Great approach during the event. And every moment reinforces attention and culture through this approach where they are engaging after every 10 minutes, after every 12 minutes. It keeps the attention of the employees within the event. And for leaders, this isn't just about engagement metrics, it's about driving that learning transfer, what people are interacting with, what sort of questions they do have, and that helps leaders also understand about the employees, about the culture within the organization. Now moving ahead, Ashwini, another piece of this is the mindset of the employees. For the people running the room, what's the biggest shift they need to make to have the maximum engagement within the event?
Perfect. And a great question, Prachi. So here, so think of this like a rock concert, okay, where there is a great performer coming on the stage, but before the performer comes on the stage, there has to be a cover band or there has to be an MC who comes on the stage and riles up the audience, right? So the host, the moderator, they have to think of this as they are bringing the energy in. They are sparking the right energy into the event. They are setting the tone of the event. So if the host or the MC or the moderator who's running the conference is extremely anxious, extremely tired with organizing everything, has many things to manage, the energy will also reflect in your event. So
Yes.
what one thing that I would recommend, and we've seen this happen a couple of times, is assign someone like your energy producer or an energy scientist. Their job is to keep the chat warm, keep engaging people on the chat. If someone has a great comment, reply to that, talk to them, or have that flooding. Number one, share reminders, share video reminders of sessions coming up, sessions starting, bring in good questions, great questions on the stage, or highlight if there are questions to be sent out. So there is somebody who's setting the tone of the event, bringing in the energy. We had seen, like, again, we had seen there were conferences where leadership does that role sometimes. But being a host, you have to be throughout the event, you have to maintain the energy levels and pace it. So, for example, during the lunch hours or during Wednesdays, if the conference is still running, there could be different days and different energies could also be there. But everything is managed as by the host.
The
Yeah.
idea of having that energy producer, I love that. So good because ultimately the feeling people leave with is shaped by how alive the room felt to them while in the event and not
Yeah.
just what they heard or saw in the presentations. Now, moving ahead, before we wrap up, let's get a little practical. Say you are 10 minutes from going live. What can a host do in that moment to boost their energy and the room?
Great. Great question. And although some of this will require pre planning, but if, of course, so for example, if I were to do this and the event is going to start in 10 minutes, I would probably open the event maybe 30, 15 minutes before it's going to start because people don't exactly come. Some people who are looking forward to it, they will join early as well. So, what I would rather do is number one, there should be music somewhere. So, have a live DJ, rile up the energy before the conference starts. So, number one. You can also have a live countdown going on, and so that and with some interaction happening there. Then, of course, if you are also in the event and there are people who have joined in and you're on the stage, call out their names. Hey, thanks for joining in. What are you looking for? How are you doing? Things like that. One more interesting thing that we've seen is start taking questions and start showing questions on the stage every 5-10 seconds. Change a question. What that will do is that will get people who are joining in get their brain spinning as well. So maybe they have not asked these questions, but there are other people who are asking questions already, or they would have submitted questions during your pre-preparation of the event. So get those questions up on the stage at that time so that people can actually see, oh yeah, this is, I also want to ask this, or I also want to know this. So you're already bringing people into their content with questions which you've crafted beforehand. So this is also another way. If people have already joined in, they're already anticipating an experience. Show them what's this about. Show them what other people are expecting from this event. Of course, you can have a great poll which brings in, which also then understands what people are looking for. So ask people to start a trivia quiz. Maybe you can start if there are participants, if there is a significant number of participants. Another great ideas could be you can have speed networking going on. So in the 10 minutes, you can have participants before the event. You can just let them meet with each other, let them break through those silos and have them interact with each other. So there could be many things. Depends on what kind of experience you want to craft. You want to keep it very fun, just a very casual going. Keep it maybe networking plus some music. You want to make it more learning focused, make it more alignment focused. Have Q&A set up, have polls set up so which people can participate as they come in. So yeah, many ideas here, Prachi. But yeah, hopefully these got down to the point where our listeners could take away with very actionable points. But I think, yeah, this could be something that I would prefer doing if my event is starting in next 15 minutes or 10 minutes.
So simple, but yet so smart, Ashwini. Were all the difference makers before we even start the event. I would just say that these small rituals would definitely make a big impact in the event. Before we wrap up the session, any last one liner you would like to share with our audience?
I think, Prachi, I would go back to our initial, when we started the session, that it is not, it is, of course, when we think of event, when we think of a learning conference, we put a lot of energy and focus into the content, into who's going to be speaking, what they're going to be speaking about. But I would just recommend think of it from a festival for employees point of view. This is for your teams, your employees who are going to be sitting there. Make it a lot more about their experience, their engagement, and that would leave a mark in their brain, in their hearts, rather than just a learning thing, because passive learning won't stick is what we believe. So yeah, I think key takeaways would be around crafting it as an experience. And then, of course, like we discussed, those micro moments of engagement would be key as well.
Great takeaways. And At the end, to wrap up, the core is that in virtual and hybrid events, engagement isn't just optional, it is the currency of retention. With the right flow, right tool, and the right mindset, you can turn the passive viewers, your employees, into active participants and build that, I would say, build that internal moments people remember long after event is over. This was the end of today's episode, and next time we are shifting the gears to post event energy, how to keep the momentum going once the curtain are closed after this event. So thank you so much everyone for joining. See you in the next episode.
Thank you.